Zone B captured. Power play. Keep the pressure on. Zone A lost. Tell them to line up faster.
Hey, what's going on everyone? How are you guys doing today? Welcome back to another Steam 2 video, and today we're going to be talking about the poor man's Recluse. During the weekend I spent some time trying to look for an SMG that was able to do the things that the Recluse can do, well, without having to, actually be the Recluse. So I was looking for a similar rate of fire, similar handling stat, stability, and most importantly, similar damage. And believe it or not, we actually found one. We actually found the poor man's Recluse that meets all the criteria, especially damage. And the SMG that we're going to be using for this is going to be the bug out bag, the Gambit Prime SMG. Mostly because I can roll with one of the new perks, Swashbuckler, which gives this weapon increased damage from melee kills and from kills with the weapon. So it's basically kinda like Rampage, but a little bit different. So instead of like Rampage only being able to stack up 3 times, Swashbuckler can actually stack up to 5 times, even though you get a little bit less damage per stack than you do with Rampage. But the other thing that really makes Swashbuckler unique is that you can go from having no stacks to having max stacks if you get a melee kill. A melee kill just automatically gives you 5 Swashbuckler stacks, meaning that as soon as you get a melee kill, you're gonna have max damage with your weapon. So this perk is gonna seem like the perfect thing to use, since we can just immediately get max damage if you get a melee kill. So I decided to pair up this weapon with the Titan and the shoulder charge, since the shoulder charge just makes it super easy to actually get some melee kills. So that's why I decided to go with shoulder charge. I would go in, shoulder charge somebody, and then you spray the rest of the people with my new high damage SMG. And it sounded pretty simple, and it actually was. I tested it out. It actually worked out very nicely, but there was one problem with it, and that was the damage that I actually got with Swashbuckler. I actually overestimated the damage a bit that we would get per stack, so instead of getting all the damage that I thought we were gonna get, we actually ended up getting a little bit less. I put up the damage on the weapon from 18 to the head to 22 to the head, which is still a pretty nice increase. It's a pretty high damage SMG, especially since it's a 900 SMG, but it's not Recluse level. Recluse does 25 damage to the head and to the body, meaning that we needed even more damage for this to actually be considered a poor man's Recluse. So while the shoulder charge was an easy way to activate the perk, and it was actually working out pretty nicely, and the weapon was actually doing pretty good, it wasn't enough. I thought that we could push it even farther. So that's exactly what we did. We ended up changing subclasses from top 3 striker, now to bottom 2 striker. So just like I said, we lost the ability to just proc the perk really easily with shoulder charge, but we did gain some very good things with switching to bottom 3 striker. We have more range with our melee, we have healing on melee kills, and the most important, we have frontal assault, which is going to give us more damage on top of Swashbuckler, and it's also going to give us a huge stability boost, and I really do mean huge. This thing just becomes a laser, and I love it. It's actually really nice having an SMG that's just this accurate. But the real reason that we're using it is for the extra damage from frontal assault. You can stack frontal assault and Swashbuckler both on the weapon, and take the damage on the weapon from 17 per headshot, like we're doing normally, to 26 per headshot. Yes, we get 9 extra points of damage per shot once we get a melee kill. So with this SMG, we actually managed to even get more damage than Recluse per shot once we get a melee kill. And then on top of that, we also have the amazing stability. So we have this very high damage SMG that's super stable and just lets you just melt everything as soon as you look at an enemy. So in the end, this is what helped us get the poor man's Recluse, frontal assault, and Swashbuckler both activating on the same melee kill. So unlike Recluse, we're not gonna have to just get a kill with any weapon. With this, we're gonna have to get a melee kill, which thanks to us running bottom 2 striker, is actually not too difficult. I actually found that it was pretty easy to get a melee kill, especially since we just get so much damage with knockout and so much range that getting a kill was actually super easy. And since we also heal after we get a kill with the melee, then we're completely ready just to take on somebody else. so it really works out very nicely, and it ended up working a lot better than I expected. I actually didn't expect it to be this good, but yeah, it's pretty good. So here's everything that we're running. We're running bottom 2 striker, we're running the Swashbuckler SMG, and then we are running the Skull Fort, just to make sure that we always have our melee up whenever we actually need it. Every time we get a melee kill, we just get our melee back, so we can pretty much activate the perk whenever we want it. So how was it actually playing with the poor man's Recluse? Did it actually perform as well as the Recluse does? And at some points it did, and at some points it didn't. And it was mostly due to being able to activate the perk. With the poor man's Recluse, we need a melee kill, meaning that we have to get close to people, meaning that in some maps it's going to be a lot easier, and in some maps it's going to be a lot more difficult. It just depends on the size of the map and where the enemies are. If they're all close together, then it's going to be a lot more difficult. While the Recluse can work in a lot more maps, since we just have to get a kill with another weapon to actually activate the perk. But when both perks are active, they actually handle pretty similarly. They're both are going to be very accurate, they're both going to just melt the enemy, and they're both just amazing weapons when the perks are active. So if you guys have a bug out bag with Swashbuckler, I definitely recommend that you give it a try. Maybe some of you guys do, maybe it's just in the boat, because maybe you thought that it wasn't going to be super great. So I recommend that you really give it a try with this. It works both PvP and PvE. In PvE it works even better, since you can pretty much just have the perk as much as you want. But anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Leave a like if you did, dislike if you didn't, subscribe to the channel in case you guys haven't already, and let me know in the comments below if you do decide to give the poor man's Recluse a try, just to maybe see how it is, even if you already have the Recluse. And I think I'll just play a couple more clips of me playing with the weapon in the background. Anyways, thank you for watching, and see you guys next time.
Zone B lost. Together as one. I love it. Double down. With you on the field, there isn't a border I could not push, Titan. Double down. What can stop you?